you're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. 'Cause you're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. Sky full of stars. I've been thinking about that song because it struck me that Paul is a sky full of stars. A lot of us work in offices at desks. Paul worked in the sky. The sky was his office, and the cockpit was his desk for many, many years of his professional life. And the stars were the things that he starred in. He was always good at everything he put his hand to. I remember in his room, he had his bedroom at home when I was growing up, a certificate or a badge or something that signified he'd done something in ballroom dancing, gained some honor. I don't think I've ever seen him ballroom dance. He took up the clarinet and squeaked away at it for a number of years in that room, but he kept at it and he mastered it and became very good at the clarinet. When I joined the church choir as a little boy, he was already the head boy. I was allowed to sit with him for a little while, but then after a few weeks I had to take my place at the end of the line of boys. At school he was a straight A student. He had a proclivity for math and the sciences, but I do remember he must have taken Shakespeare for O-level because he had a little pack of crib cards, study cards, and on the front it was Henry IV Part 1, and I always wondered why he only did half a play. Because he grew to like anything that transported the human body, and he started off slow, I guess, with the slow moving anyway, canoes. At the Royal Canoe Club, which sounds posh, but it actually was just a shed down by the river, where he and his canoeing pals would hang out and work on their canoes. Some of them built canoes. I think he helped build canoes. These are wooden canoes, not those fiberglass kind, but racing canoes. He despised sculls and 4s and 8s and those guys who just relied on having big muscles and who were facing the wrong way in their boat. He liked to see where he was going, and he felt that canoeing had much more skill than those. As soon as he could, he got his car driving license and was passionate about cars. I think he got his license on the first day that he was eligible for one. And he would start bringing home cars. I think he bought, one car he brought home had a running board, I think. And I remember he had TR4, Triumph TR4 green, with a huge engine. At least it seemed huge to me at the time. Now when I see TR4s around here, you do see them, enthusiasts have them here in Denver, but they look tiny. And from cars, of course, he went on to planes. When he was 18 and thinking about a career, he applied to Cranwell, the Air Force Academy. He applied to an architectural school, and just in case he didn't get into those, he applied to a college, I believe, to do economics. Of course, he got into all three, and then it was a tough decision between being a pilot and being an architect. And I sometimes wonder what would have happened if he become an architect. But he became a pilot, and by all accounts from his trophies and from the witnesses of his colleagues, he was not just a pilot, but one of the best pilots of his generation. Went on to become a test pilot, both for the RAF and for British Aerospace. I'd see those pictures of him smiling proudly in the cockpit of an airplane, and I must admit, I think to myself, wild horses wouldn't drag me into that cockpit. That was his mirror. He was always 4 years older than I, and he began to like raucous music while I was still only impressionable 12, 13-year-old. He was into Santana and Jimi Hendrix and Chicago and Cream. I remember he went to Cream's last concert at the Albert Hall in 1968 and came home and said the concert was great, but the support band were terrible. The support band were a group that Richard and I grew to love as one of the best bands ever, the band Yes. But Paul, I don't think, really got into Yes. He preferred Pink Floyd. But one artist that we both did like was Elton John, right from the get-go, really. And he got into Elton John right at the beginning, right at the first album. And he must have played it a lot, because there's one song that I remember in particular that still always reminds me of Paul. And I'm just going to play the last verse because I think it's kind of apropos at this time. Thanks. Holy Moses, let's live in peace. Let us try to find a way to make all hatred cease. There's a man over there, what's his color? I don't care. He's my brother, let us live in peace. Oh, he's my brother, let us live in peace. Oh, he's my brother, let us live in peace.